cool and damp at Foxborough Stadium this afternoon. It'll be the Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Jones along with Todd Christensen. And today, the dichotomy of two head coaches. First, Jack Parcells.
And first, a lovely word, by the way. Yeah, Bill Parcells. You know, the situation with him at 1-4, not a lot is expected of the New England Patriots, and so he's not altogether upset, although he is pleased with the effort of his club. But they're riding a high. They won last week over the Phoenix Cardinals, and that gives them a little momentum heading into today.
The head coach for the Houston Oilers, he's riding a low.
Yes, he is, Jack Pardee. Beleaguered is the word that describes Jack Pardee in this 93 campaign. And today, another problem. 3 new offensive starters due to the injuries to players. He's been replaced all season by Buddy Ryan, according to some scribes. And it's a situation here where Houston, quite frankly, has to win today if they're going to salvage their season.
And here is Warren Moon. He, of course, by now, almost everybody knows, will not be starting for the Houston Oilers. Cody Carlson will be the starting quarterback. And for the New England Patriots, Drew Bledsoe, with a sprained left knee, will not be starting. And that means that Scott Secules, with his first NFL start, and he is in his 6th year. We mentioned the weather. It is cool. It is damp. 57 degrees of humidity. That says it all, 100%. We have a bit of a wind, and the forecast is for fog and drizzle. Well, yesterday we had fog and drizzle here in the Boston area, and the Houston Oilers had a problem just getting here. Logan Airport was closed. They went to Newark, spent 3 hours there, and then they came up and finally arrived late. They ran into all the traffic in the tunnel, and they were supposed to have their evening meal at 5:30. Well, it was a cold meal at about 8:30 in the evening, and so since then the Oilers have been playing catch-up, and right now they'll have to catch up with the New England Patriots, who won the toss and will be receiving. And we are underway. Ray Crittenden is the return man for the Patriots, and New England will set up shop with an enthusiastic crowd at their own 28-yard line. He'll have a return of 25 yards on the play. Scott Secules, in his 6th year, signed as a free agent. Here is a look at his offensive line of Armstrong, Chung Arthur, Baldinger, and Pat Harlow. Secules, of course, with Leonard Russell, Kevin Turner, Brisby, McMurtry, and the tight end is Marv Cook.
Then they go to the 4 wide receiver package on 3rd down. You'll see a lot of Timpson and Crittenden in to catch some big 3rd down balls.
Fish will spot the ball at the 27-yard line. And here is Leonard Russell. Russell around the left side and then out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So he's going to pick up a quick 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and short. We'll check out the defense of the Houston Oilers with Fuller, Childress, Williams, Jones, Robinson, Smith, and Bowden replacing Wilbur Marshall, who is not here. Dishman, Jackson, McDowell, and Robertson in the secondary.
On 3rd down, you'll see a lot of Tony Brown, and you'll see some of rookie from Miami, Michael Barrow at inside back, or someone that Buddy Ryan is very high on.
2nd down and short, double tight end on the set. And again, the pitch to Leonard Russell. And he's going to pick up the 1st down at the 40-yard line.
Last week against the Phoenix Cardinals, Leonard Russell went for over 100 yards, at 118 yards on 29 carries, and that certainly helped that man, Bill Parcells, who, of course, is well known for his power running game with the Giants. That's the sort of thing he'd like to incorporate here, and really he should, because when you showed the front 5 of the New England Patriots, of their 5 starting offensive linemen, 3 of them are first-round picks. They should be able to generate a better running game than they have in the past.
1st down at the 40-yard line. Secules to throw. The pass downfield is complete for a 1st down at the Houston 45-yard line. A gain of 15 and the 1st down. And on the receiving end is Greg McMurtry.
It's actually pretty good coverage by Dishman. Look where he is, and look where his hand is. He gets it right in the way, but McMurtry, big wide receiver, 6'2", about 205, 210, gets his body between Dishman and the ball and is able to come up with it.
And so New England, who started this drive at their own 27-yard line, of a 1st down at the Houston 45, opening drive of the ball game. We have no score. And Secules to throw again. Has blitz pressure right up the middle.
That's Bubba McDowell in on the blitz, Charlie. Strong safety for the Houston Oilers. Buddy Ryan felt like he could do for the Houston Oilers what Todd Bell and Dave Duerson used to do for the Chicago Bears. There you see he comes in completely untouched, and I'm surprised they didn't go to this sooner simply because of the fact that, as you mentioned at the outset, this is Secules' first NFL start. Buddy Ryan's definitely going to try to confuse the young quarterback.
When we talked with Bill Parcells, the head coach in New England, I can't believe that I called him Jack Parcells, but I did. I'm sure he'll hear about it. We'll all hear about it. Second down again. He had an interesting comment about his quarterback. Here is Leonard Russell, and he just keeps plowing. 39-yard line. He picks up 6, so it's going to be third down and about 4. McDowell making the tackle. On Scott Secules, he said, you know, he will be throwing to the right guy. But he may not get there as quick as if Bledsoe was throwing.
Well, his point is that Drew Bledsoe has all the physical capabilities, but at this point in his career, he reminded us that, yes, he did lose his last year of eligibility. Washington State, he's only 21 years of age. And it's a little different reading the secondaries of the Houston Oilers and the Buffalo Bills as opposed to reading the secondaries of Oregon and Oregon State.
Amazing. He is the same age as my top. Third down and 4. Here's Leonard Russell. First down, Patriots. 28-yard line. Gain of 11 on the play.
A major disappointment for the Houston Oilers this year has been the play of their front four. Watch the offensive lineman of the Houston Oilers just knock people off the ball. Here comes the trap play. Fuller has him, but he runs right through the arm tackle. Eddie Robinson makes the tackle, but that's way downfield. Russell already with 31 yards on 4 carries.
And it is a first down to the Houston 28-yard line. Then Coach comes in, double tight end on the set. He and Marv Cook. And here is Russell back to the left side. And there's nothing there. Michael Barrow is up to help out on the tackle for the Houston Oilers, and it's going to be second down and long.
Buddy Ryan told us with regards to Michael Barrow, the inside backer, he said that in 3 years they'll say that he was the best pick of the 93 draft of defensive players. He really likes him, his ability to go from sideline to sideline. He said he's one of the smartest rookies he's ever coached. When they had the defensive test, he got 99 out of 100 right the first time.
And that's the only one he's missed. I think he's missed one question on every... And here they try the right side with Leonard Russell, and there's nothing there, as all of a sudden the Oiler defense has started to converge on the offense of the Patriots. It'll be third down and long, and that means that Secules will have to go to the air.
This will be an interesting call on the part of Buddy Ryan. Is he going to rush his 4 and stay back, or is he going to go with the blitz? The Houston Oilers, as we mentioned, 3 of the 4 front defensive linemen for the Houston Oilers have led the AFC in sacks at one time or another. Fuller, Williams, and Sean Jones. So you would think that they could get away with just rushing 4 and playing 7 in the secondary, but that has not been effective up to this point. Obviously, he's going 4.
Third down and 10.
Blitz.
Here's the blitz. Drops it off right side. And the Patriots will come up short as Leonard Russell was in reality the safety valve. And the blitz came untouched. Is that Chris Dishman?
That was Bubba McDowell who comes. Watch from the top of your screen. Here comes number 25, completely untouched, just too many people. He does a good job of getting it out to Russell. Now they're set up in pretty good field goal position for Sisson.
So the line of scrimmage is the 24. Scott Sisson will attempt just outside the 31. And it will be a 41-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold. And the Oilers are going to take over. Sisson's long this year is only 32 yards. He hit the crossbar from 54. Did Sean Jones get a piece of that?
It appears that he did. That's what everybody's jumping up and down. Sean Jones, 6'7", 260 pounds, right in the middle. There he is. Look at the leap. He gets that left hand on it. Now Houston will have the ball when we get back.
Seems the more time goes by,
Sean Jones in the middle here. Look at the left-handed stance, and what he's going to do is he's going to do the swim move with the arm over. Take a look at the penetration he gets right in the middle. I'm surprised. He almost blocked that with his head. He was in so far. Great job of penetration by Sean Jones, who also happens to be the leading sacker for the Houston Oilers at this point with 4.
And so Houston on offense for the first time in the ballgame from their own 15-yard line. Cody Carlson is the quarterback. And he comes out short. And the pass is complete to Ernest Gibbons. And it's going to be just shy of the first down as we'll take a look at the starting offensive set for the Houston Oilers. With Hopkins, Munchak, Matthews, Dawson, and Donnelly, that offensive line. As you can tell, people have been moved around. David Williams not here. His wife had a baby. We understand everything is okay. Carlson White, Jeffrey Slaughter, Wellman, and Gibbons. And Gary Wellman is starting because Curtis Duncan and Leonard Harris are both out. They're inactive for the ball game with injury. So it is second down and short for Houston. Attack of the Oilers, Lorenzo White, and he'll pick up the first down. And they'll mark it at the 28-yard line and a first down. Now let's look at the defense of New England with Fitzgerald, Washington, Tippett, Brown, Collins, and the rookie Chris Slade. Now we may not see that much of this defensive set, Wren, Brown, Barnett, and Hurst, and the reason being,
well, because of the 4 wide receiver package, the dime is what you're going to see most of with Renee Thompson and Rod Smith because they have to have their corners out there to cover those 4 wide receivers.
We have no score in the ball game. 8.5 minutes. That is the time remaining in the first period. And Houston on offense for the first time. Ballman is in motion. And here is the draw to White, the straight shot up the middle, and he will go to the 35-yard line. He's going to pick up 7. It's going to be second and short as Vincent Brown makes the tackle for the New England Patriots.
Lorenzo White, a Pro Bowler from last season with over 1,200 yards rushing. They really want to get that going today. They're 27th in the league in running, and they really have to get Lorenzo White started because the New England Patriots are giving up over 170 yards a game on defense, worst in the National Football League.
A chance to check out the 10-minute ticker here in Foxborough. We have no score between the Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. Wellman again, the motion man, and to the right side is White. There's nothing there. A start, a stop, 2 flags are dropped. And Andre Tippett is there to drop Lorenzo White.
Absolutely blatant hold on the part of Doug Dawson and everybody, certainly all the stripe men saw it.
Johnny Greer is the referee.
Holding, 66, offense, still second down. Lorenzo White is going to cut to the outside and watch the right guard, Dawson, who can't quite get from the right of your screen. Look at that. He just flat out tackles right here, Andre Tippett.
Good tackle,
you
though.
think that he was on defense. You can see Tippett's not too terribly happy about it. And there comes the cascade of amber linen.
And the ball goes back to the 25-yard line, and it's going to be second down and 13. White again, this time on the left side. And it's going to go for a pickup of 3, so it'll be third down and 10. As the Houston Oilers are trying to establish a running game with Lorenzo White. That's something they really haven't shown much this year.
Well, here's the reason why. Look at the yards per game that the Patriots are giving up, as we mentioned, 172.5, and yards per rush. When the league average per rush is around 3.8, you're giving up 4.6 per carry. You're just flat out inviting other teams to run against you. That's, as you say, what Houston's trying to establish.
Third down and 10. The Oilers this year have converted just over 46% of their third down opportunities. But this is a tough one. Here's pressure from the backside, and the pass is dropped, almost intercepted. Corwin Brown, with nobody there, juggled it and couldn't hang on to it.
The disgust that you can see on the face of Cody Carlson is because he thought that Haywood Jeffries was going to cut to the outside. This is a read offense for the wide receivers. He's anticipating Jeffries moving to the left. Instead, he goes up. There's absolutely no Houston Oiler here. Easy catch for Brown, who just flat out drops it.
So Craig Montgomery will be kicking. Troy Brown, the rookie from Marshall, is the return man. Good kick. Oh, my. 19-yard line, 20, 25, and he's wrapped up at the 30-yard line. 53 yards on the kick with a 10-yard return for Troy Brown. We've got a timeout and no score. Back in a moment.
by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By express mail from the Postal Service. We track, we trace, we deliver for you. And by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola.
Warren Moon and Cody Carlson on the sideline.
But the hat's got to go. Warren Moon has had his problems already. Don't let it be part of his attire, too. Man, that hat's got to go.
New England, their second opportunity in offense. And a first down from the 30-yard line. And here is Leonard Russell. He's going to pick up about a yard. That's it. Let's go to New York for an update.
Charlie, let's take a look at Seattle, still awake and alert. After recovering a fumble off the opening kickoff, the Seahawks get into the end zone immediately. Meyer throwing to Kelvin Martin. Early on, it is Seattle 7, Detroit nothing in the Silverdome. Let's go back to Charlie and Todd.
All right, thank you, Jim. Seattle becoming, the team to be reckoned with this year, and nobody thought they would be.
Well, you know how I hate to agree with Mike, but he was absolutely right in the pregame show talking about the savvy of the young quarterback Meyer.
Secules completes the pass to Kevin Turner, and Bubba McDowell makes the tackle.
Nice tackle by McDowell. You know, the strong safeties in the league now are becoming like linebackers. They're usually around 215, 220, could be 6'2", 6'3". Bubba McDowell is none of that. He's 6 foot and just barely over 200 pounds. In fact, he's listed at 198. But here he comes on, takes on the 235-pound fullback, and takes the legs right out from under him.
It's third down and 5. The ball at the 35-yard line. As you can see, Bubba always active defensively for the Houston Oilers. Downfield pass complete, first down. Vin Coates, he just keeps going. Now this is the number 2 tight end, but the number 1 receiving tight end. That is his 17th reception of the season. This one good for 37 yards, and he, by the way, has scored 4 touchdowns.
Interesting to call him the receiving tight end because Marv Cook is a 2-time Pro Bowler. One season had 80-plus catches. But here, one of the rare times you see the Houston Oilers in a zone, and he just flat runs right over Chris Dishman at 6'5", 250 pounds. He shows that he can do something after he catches the ball.
Coach was drafted in the 5th round in 1991. This is his 3rd season in the National Football League. He shows most little play action fake, and Secules has to drop it off underneath the coverage, and Kevin Turner can't pull it in.
And he was trying to go to Coates again. He had him in motion running a corner route. He had man-for-man coverage with Eddie Robinson, but Robinson does a nice job staying with him. There you see downfield, he wants to get it to Coates, dishes it out to Turner, but throws it a little bit too far.
I have the feeling that Secules had a little bit more time than he realized.
Yeah, well, again, that's what happens when you get with the blitz earlier, and let's not forget, ad nauseum we mentioned it, but this is his first, even though it's the 6th year in the league, his first NFL start.
And there is the reason that he is starting. Bledsoe, the number 1 draft choice, is out with a sprained left knee, and that's really a week-to-week basis. Here's the swing pass right side, and it is complete to Michael Timpson. And he goes out of bounds. About a yard shy of the first down marker. So it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Timpson takes advantage of the gap between himself and the defensive back when he runs the out route after going in motion. He's able to cut upfield quickly and give him a great opportunity on 3rd down.
And inside the 20, New England, they've been there 17 times. 6 touchdowns and 6 field goals, 1 turnover. And it's 3rd down and 1. We have a timeout call on the field. We'll step aside for a moment. We have no score. The Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. Here's the reason for the timeout called by the Houston Oilers.
Well, you see, running off the field, there are only 10 men on the field, and once the last guy runs off the field, they look around and realize they don't have enough, and they have to call timeout. Last week in the Monday Night Game, if you happen to watch, that happened on 3 different occasions, either 12 or 10 men on the field, and at this level, that's unconscionable.
And Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers. 3rd down and 1. 17-yard line. And here is Leonard Russell. Oh, it may not be there. Al Smith leading the defense for the Oilers.
Teams 1-4, even if they're short, I look for Bill Parcells to go for it. He was famous at New York in a lot of situations in midfield, coming up 4th and 1 and giving it a shot. I think this is 4-down territory.
Scott Secules, in case you joined us for the Patriots, in case you joined us late, had a 41-yard field goal attempt blocked by Sean Jones. And it is 4th down and 1, and they will go for it. Brandon Moore comes in, so in reality, the Patriots now with a 3 tight end offense.
Well, and you also have to figure here the way Leonard Russell's been running in the early going, 235 pounds. To make that 1.5 foot shouldn't be a big issue.
And here is Leonard Russell, and it is a big issue. He may not have made it.
Well, that's I tell you what. The side judge, they didn't come together. They didn't come together. I'll be interested where this spot is. One of the inexact science in the National Football League is spotting that football. And the Houston Oilers defense, look at them going off the field. They don't think he has it either.
They've gone for the measurement. The Oilers say, hey, we have held, and we take over on down. And so New England able to move against the Oiler defense, but they come up short on a 4th down and 1, according at least at this point to the Oilers.
So it appears.
And officially, it is going to be short by the length of the football.
That's not a happy man right there. Get an offensive line that averages 290 pounds. A running back in Russell, 235-pounder. As successful as they've been running the ball, he plows in there. Great job by Al Smith filling right there. You see number 54 take his legs away. That enables the rest of the Oilers to jump on the pile and pull him back. Excellent job by Al Smith, the inside back.
And so Houston takes over for the 2nd time in the ballgame with no score. Here at their own 17-yard line. And here comes Lorenzo White. And White goes to the 22-yard line as we go to New York for an update. Jim?
Charlie Vinny Testaverde seems anxious to justify Bill Belichick's confidence in him. First drive of the game for the Browns against the Bengals. Tommy Vardell, touchdownless a year ago. Now touchdown Tommy again. And Cleveland has a 7-0 lead early against the Bengals. Back to Charlie and Todd.
Other scoring in the NFL, none here. 2:57, that is the time remaining first period. The Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. And Carlson back to throw. And this one is intercepted. Oh,
no!
It is
went through his arms and he caught it.
Oh, I can't believe it. You're kidding me.
My.
Webster Slaughter had the reception. Renee Thompson, perfect position. I thought he had the interception, was headed for the end zone.
I thought it was easy money. Take a look at this.
Too.
Thompson, great anticipation, goes
there.
right through his arms, and watch Slaughter heads up, paying attention, excellent concentration, comes up with the ball. Oh my goodness. Oh, Thompson will see that one in his dreams for a long time. Now that's 2 interceptions, 2 clear and easy interceptions the Patriot DBs have dropped.
Corwin Brown dropped the first one, and Renee Thompson drops this one. So it is 3rd down and 1 Houston. The Oilers get a reprieve.
But they took too much time. They took too much time. Gee, that's awful.
So rather than being 3rd and 1, it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Move the ball back to the 21-yard line.
When the season started, a lot of people were concerned over this 40-second clock, but they thought it was going to be teams that had a lot of movement. Well, the Oilers do have some movement, but not like, say, the Redskins or the Chargers are moving people all over the place. That's definitely jitters on the part of Carlson not getting up there and getting the ball snapped.
Slaughter in motion. And here is the draw to White. He has open spaces, has the first down. He goes to the 35-yard line. A gain of 14 yards on the play. Lorenzo White picks up the first down. Corwin Brown and Harlan Barnett make the tackle.
Talk about open spaces. That was the operative word, Charlie. Everybody's looking inside, and of course, when you have man-for-man coverage downfield with the full wide receivers, their backs are turned in a lot of cases to the quarterback, and that's what happened there. By the time they turned around and realized that Lorenzo White had the ball, he had the first down. He, too, having a good first quarter, 5 carries for 32 yards.
Gutsy Cross. On a 3rd down and 6, going with the quarterback draw. And now, the deep pass is overthrown. Haywood Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And speaking of quarterbacks, here is a look at the natural gas quarterback efficiency rating.
All those people that said the Boomer Esiason was done in Cincinnati, I do believe you're wrong. Not only is he piling up the yards, he's piling up with efficiency. There he is at the top. And we mention every week John Elway in the top. You know, in the career, he's something like 38th in history, which just goes to show in a lot of cases that Benjamin Disraeli was right about lies down lies and statistics. Haywood Jeffrey's wide open, and Carlson just can't quite get him the ball.
Carlson 2 of 4 for 14 yards. 2nd and 10. Houston at their own 35. Steps left, throws left. Pass is complete. Webster Slaughter with the reception, and Vincent Brown makes the tackle.
A little more time to throw in that instance for Carlson. Part of the difficulty for the Houston Oilers this year offensively has been their inability to protect Warren Moon, already giving up 17 sacks. Carlson there had a lot of time to scan the field and found Slaughter open in the flat. You pointed this out, and I agree with you. Very unfair, the abuse this man has taken.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 5 straight Pro Bowl years, and now all of a sudden he stinks. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
There's more to it than that.
You've got to have the protection. You've got to have that offensive line working. Is incomplete. But one thing to point out, we were talking about the offensive line. You have to have the time. Carlson had the time.
Certainly that time. You got to give credit to the New England Patriots secondary. Look as he fades back. Look at how many different receivers he looks at. There's 1, there's 2. Now he comes back to the middle. There's 3. Now he's going to come off, step up, and look at the 4th choice. And by this time, now he finally gets knocked down. But give a lot of credit there to the New England secondary for covering the people downfield.
And also credit to the Houston offensive line that gave him all that time. Here is Montgomery to catch. Troy Brown is the return man. Little stop and go, slips the tackle, and that's it. This wasn't anything there. Excellent coverage. 45 yards on the kick. No return. We come to the end of the first quarter. We have no score. The Oilers and the Patriots. Come back to Foxborough Stadium on a cool and damp Sunday afternoon. A sellout crowd here for the New England Patriots. We have no score between Houston and New England as we start the second quarter. And the Patriots have the ball at their own 15-yard line.
I wanted to ask you something. Do you think the lethargy of the Houston Oilers thus far has a lot to do with that late plane flight?
No, it shouldn't. He's a professional athlete. You just relax, have a late meal, and come out and start playing. Here is Leonard Russell, and a flag is down. I think at the professional level of any sport, you run out of excuses. Don't have an excuse to lose. Go out and participate.
But you know, the one
holding call against the Patriots.
But the one thing is that as athletes, you get used to certain habits when you travel. You know, you sleep at a certain time, you eat at a certain time. It's almost like, I'm saying this from experience, it's like sheep.
Yeah.
You know, we all huddle together, we do a certain thing, and then all of a sudden when your routine is broken, I'm not trying to make excuses.
No.
I'm just saying that clearly in the first quarter, Houston was severely outplayed.
Yeah.
They're very lucky to have it 0-0.
69, offense.
It's on Eugene Chung, the left guard. The penalty will take the ball to the 12-yard line. Excuse me, to the 7-yard line. Secules 5 of 7 for 71 yards. That's a good start. It'll be first down and 18. Actually, they place it at the 7.5. They're going to split the distance from the 15. Here comes the blitz. And Russell is wrestled down.
It's Bubba McDowell again.
They had a blitz coming from the outside, and McDowell came right up the middle and jumped on the top of Leonard Russell.
I tell you what, he would be tired at the end of the game just for the reasons that they have him in so many different positions. Coming from the left, you see he comes right up the middle, takes him up top of the head, and where the head goes, the body has to follow, and down he goes.
So there's no gain, second down and 18.
Bubba McDowell not only can be up there on the line of scrimmage with 8, but he can be in center field playing back in zone coverage. So he's somebody who's definitely all over the field.
Pass downfield is incomplete as Secules overthrows Brisby and the Oilers secondary. The reason for the roar of the crowd just posted here, Pittsburgh leading New Orleans by a score of 14-0. And the Cleveland over Cincinnati score now up. Cleveland up 7-0 in that ball game as we go back to the last play.
He throws into double coverage. Actually, Secules is lucky to get this one back. Robertson read the post right away. When the ball is thrown, if this isn't thrown so far downfield, about 60 yards in the air, then it gets picked.
So it is third down and 18. And if the Oilers hold here, they have an opportunity, or a chance at least, to come up with excellent field position. Here's Russell to the outside. And he is going to go out of bounds at around the 13-yard line. So it will be fourth down, and that means that New England will be kicking as Dishman and McDowell took Russell out of bounds. In any kind of a return by Willie Drury will give the Oilers excellent field position, something that they have not had thus far in the ballgame.
Mike Saxon, former punter for the Dallas Cowboys, now been picked up by Parcells here. New England.
Ooh, good kick.
Good kick.
Drury now at the 40. Stop, comes back. Excellent coverage by the Patriots. He's only going to get about 5 yards on the return. We'll be back. No score.
Great look. Beautiful.
Welcome back to Foxborough Stadium. We have no score between the Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. And for the Oilers,
a historic event. Number 48, John Henry Mills, the lone tight end on the roster, is now in the ball game. He's going to line up at tight end with 3 wide receivers. I wonder if this is going to confuse the defense of the New England Patriots.
He replaces Gary Wellman, who is the 4th wide receiver this afternoon. And here's Lorenzo White. And he runs to the side of John Henry Mills. Mike Fitz makes the tackle. And next Sunday, NBC Sports presents another great NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live, Buffalo and the Jets, Cincinnati at Houston, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and New England at Seattle. Those are the games. So check your local listings for the games to be seen in your area. And here, this game, of course, is being seen in your area. And we have no score between Houston and New England.
They see Mills line up on the right side. I'm curious if they'll run right here.
Second down and 6. Carlson, good protection. Excellent coverage downfield. He's going to scramble maybe for a yard on the play. So it'll be third down and 5.
I'm wondering if Warren Moon is a little bit jealous here. Look at the time that Carlson's getting. Once again, 1, 2. He's already looked at 2 receivers. Looks at a third. Now starts to scramble. And then finally, at the end, he gets tackled. But I mean, it's just simply a situation where the New England secondary is doing an outstanding job.
But that was a replay in slow motion. Even more time on the replay.
Well, no, but I mean the fact that
he did have excellent time.
The fact that he saw 4 different receivers.
It's a yard rushing for Carlson. And the quick pass is caught. It's going to be a yard shy of the first down.
Big tackle.
Webster Slaughter caught it, and he was nailed immediately by Rod Smith.
Great job by Rod Smith. Shield left is what this is called. He runs him off. Now, all of a sudden, his natural inertia should take him for the first down, but Rod Smith said no. Hits him right at the shoulders, making him go backwards. Good job by Smith preventing the first down.
Joe Greg Montgomery will be kicking. Ray Crittenden is the return man for the Patriots. And he hangs a beauty. Fair catch, he'll stay away from it. We have a collision downfield, but the ball is going to go out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
The reason that wasn't called is because it was his own man. There's no flag there, and that's the reason. His own man ran into him, and there's a little huddle, a caucus by the officials. Good no call by the officials. Nothing but blue shirts right here. Knock down the receiver. It'll be the Patriots at the 5 when we're back. Greg Montgomery, quite a weapon for the Houston Oilers. You see his numbers there today, but that last punt drew rain. He has a 77-yarder this year, which is the longest in the NFL. His average 48.3.
And here is New England. This is Kevin Turner, the fullback. Who gets, and you notice his sideburns. Well, it kind of fits. You'd think he's from Texas and the Houston Oilers, right?
He's taken that Luke Perry thing a little bit too extreme, isn't he?
Yes, he grew up in Little Silver, New Jersey.
Well, that explains it. I see. That explains the beatnik
Of
look.
course, of course.
So what are you saying? He hung out at Greenwich Village?
Played his collegiate ball at Michigan State.
Well, I tell you, he's some kind of punter. Last year, Charlie, his average, something you'd appreciate, last year, his average 46.9. That's an AFL AFC record. Best in history.
And the quick out is incomplete. Murtry, the intended receiver. Dishman was there. And it's going to be third down for the New England Patriots. Offensively, the game has been dominated by, we'll show you with the numbers. New England, 112 yards total offense. To Houston, 63.
Nearly 2-1, but right now the game of field position is being won by Houston for the second time in a row. Deep in their own territory.
Third down and 5. The ball at the 10-yard line. Secules has pressure and is tripped up and dropped. And he's going to be down at the 1-yard line. That's the first sack for the Oilers and Sean Jones. Remember, he blocked the field goal attempt, and he picks up the sack.
His 5th sack of the season. The reason he's jumping down, up and down and being so excited is this is a homecoming of sorts for Sean Jones. He played collegiately at Northeastern University close by. There he slides in, just bumps his feet just enough to get him down. Hey, I'll take it. Yeah!
Now, Mike Saxon, now he's only 11 yards behind the snap, but he gets it off low. Not that good a kick. Had to hurry it. And here is Drury on the return. He is at the 30-yard line, inside the 30, to the 27-yard line. So the Oilers with excellent field position. 41 yards on the kick, 14 yards on the return. Marv Cook with the tackle. We have no score. We'll be back in a moment.
EC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline. By Wendy's. St. Thomas missed his Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich so much he's brought it back. Try one. And by Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton Pants. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
A sellout crowd here at Foxborough Stadium this afternoon. No score between the Houston Oilers and the New England Patriots. And Houston with their best field position to start a drive at the New England 27-yard line, first down. Steps across, comes back, hits White. That's the man he originally faked to, and he's going to pick up about 9 yards on the play. And again, Carlson is getting good protection.
Absolutely right. The time here, and again, you say in slow motion, but still, look at how many different people he gets to look at and guess as to where he's going. Finally, you said he comes off to the very man that he faked the handoff to. White runs right through Vincent Brown, the leading tackler for the Patriots, picks up 9 big yards.
Carlson now 5 of 8 for 35 yards. And the chains are going to come out for the measurement.
When I mentioned the thing with regards to Warren Moon, we mentioned that they had 17 sacks coming into this game, and they only had 9 on their own team. I'm sure that he's out there on the sidelines. Warren's thinking to himself, where was this protection when I was there for those first 5 games? He's smiling about it.
He's such a class man.
He really is.
He really is. He's one of the special ones.
I was going to say, the whole argument about, well, he's too involved with television, too involved with charities, all of that. Well, for the last 5 years, he's been doing that. He's gone to the Pro Bowl. Why is it all of a sudden now a problem?
It's not a problem.
That's bogus.
The problem is a record of 1-4. That's the problem. And here is White on the right side around the corner, and then he is upended.
White, the ball carrier. Tripped up by Harlan Barnett at the 11.
And there's a look at what's been going on in the media in Houston. What's next? Humiliating loss to the Rams leaves the Oilers. Lou Font. Moon's woes sparked trade rumors. And we had all kinds of trade rumors. And then I understand they've all been squashed.
Well, your idea of Miami one made sense to me.
That was one of the rumors. Moon's White, the ball carrier.
You figure with the investment that they've made in Cody Carlson over the next 3 years and Warren Moon turning 37 next month, to trade him to a team that is a Super Bowl contender, the Miami Dolphins, that certainly makes sense.
But another side from the Houston Oilers, they have a good ball club. They have good personnel. Many picked them, to make the Super Bowl. Some picked them to win the Super Bowl this year. They have good personnel. If you're going to do it, not necessarily this year, say, but next year, you need 2 quarterbacks. You need 2 quality quarterbacks to get you to the Super Bowl. You can't do it with one anymore. They simply don't last. Carlson now has pressure, steps away, and he's going to run for it, heads for the corner, dives, and does he make it? Yes! And the Oilers have the first touchdown.
Once again, the protection by the Houston Oilers is outstanding. Look at Brad Hopkins just manhandling Mike Pitts. Gets plenty of time to scramble around and finally cuts to his left and shows excellent speed there, getting to the corner in for the touchdown. But it exacted a price. You can see he's limping off a little bit, and this will be interesting to see as to how hurt he really is.
Juggled the ball as he got into the end zone, had possession when it broke the plane. That's all you need. Is Al Del Greco and the extra point attempt, and it is right down the middle. That is only the 3rd rushing touchdown for the Oilers this year. They lead 7-0.
Our score is Houston 7.
Warren Moon is loosening up on the sideline. Carlson, as you can see, is limping, trying to. It was just a catch. He's just trying to walk it off.
WBC Radio after the first 5 games.
It is a groin strain, is the report that we have. Probably will return.
Now here's the interesting point. I've had a groin in a game. Part of the problem is you got to drop your pants to get it taped up. And so that's why
well, they together a crowd.
No, I understand. That's what happens. But in the meantime, they probably can't get it taped quick enough for him to get back in the next series. Hence the reason why Moon's warming up.
The kickoff by Al Del Greco is high and short, taken at the 11-yard line by Troy Brown. And the return to the 25-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Stop short of his 25-yard line.
Take a look at the spread. The wide receivers here are going to make sure that there is plenty of room and plenty of green for Carlson to operate in. And clear that. Take a look when he fades back, and the first man that he stiff arms, all of a sudden the bodies here, all the white bodies are in front of blue bodies, and that enables him to cut to the left. Take a look at all the grass right here. And that's what enables Carlson to get in for the touchdown.
Houston leading in the ball game by a score of 7-0, and here is New England. They come back with their ground attack, led once again by Leonard Russell. And Joe Bowden with the tackle.
This is where he gets the groin pull, and watch at the end when Corwin Brown takes the ball away. Take a look, a little unnatural right there, just at the end. You can see the right knee crosses over the left, and that's where the groin strain comes in. And what did I tell you right there? The very thing. That's right. The big hood up there so he can drop his pants and get it taped up.
It's a portable locker room.
I tell you, that's not fun. It's happened to me.
And here is the handoff to Russell again. Houston says they have the ball.
Big hit by Bowden. It almost looked like he took his head off the face mask. Oh, boy.
Flag dropped at the 29-yard line.
Joe Bowden replacing the injured Wilbur Marshall. Buddy Ryan said they like him. He's a player. His reputation in the past have been on special teams, but they like him defensively.
Holding. 74. Offense.
That's on Rich Balding.
Second down.
Patriots have been outscored by their opponents in the first half this year, 87-29. Outscored here 7-0. Here we go.
Take a look from the right of your screen. Here comes Bowden in. Pow! Wow. That was some hit. We haven't seen Russell go backwards at all. That's 235 pounds and 4.5 speed. Big hit by number 59, Bowden.
So it is second down and 18. The ball back at the 17-yard line. Secules 5 of 9. Here is his. Oh, he's going to scramble. And he dives. Oh, now you can tell he doesn't have a lot of game experience because he should slide. Simply for his protection if he's not going to be diving for a first down.
And certainly with Bledsoe with the knee problems, that would mean they'd have to go to their third man, Zolak. Pulls it down. There's no coverage. Sees a lot of grass and takes off. But look how quick the white shirts converge. Robinson, Smith, and McDowell right on top of Secules.
And the ball at the 24-yard line.
The knee straddling his face.
3rd down and 11. A look at Drew Bledsoe with a sprained left knee. He's going to be practicing next week, according to Bill Parcells. And here comes the blitz up the middle. And the pass is complete up the middle, but only for 3 or 4 yards. Greg McMurtry with the reception, and Dishman makes the tackle.
That's where the inexperience shows. Here he sees the blitz coming right in his face, and he panics a little bit. Yes, he completes the pass, but it's 3rd and 11. He's got to go downfield. Now watch, he sees Al Smith coming. That means, oh, I got to get rid of it quick. Got to get rid of it quick. You can see the double clutch. He hesitates, gets the completion. But as you mentioned, only 4-yard gain, and now they're going to have to punt again.
So Mike Saxon will be kicking.
Willie Truly in receive for Houston.
Trying to get the 25-second clock back up. The last punt that he had, that 41-yarder, was low, and that enabled Drury to get a good return.
And Drury has 2 blockers back with it. He takes this one at the 27, back to the 25, a right return on, up across the 40 to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line. 16 yards on the return. We'll be back in a moment. Oilers lead it 7-0.
Stop for the Patriots.
We are going to tape up.
No!
Cody Carlson is back in the ballgame. Now, what effect does, if you have a groin pull, and it is now taped up as we saw on the sideline, though, does he lose some of his footwork, some of his agility?
He does. As the game progresses, it's going to stiffen up.
Yeah.
So hopefully for him, he can keep it warm, and adrenaline can be that factor that keeps him over the top.
43-yard line, Houston out in front by a score of 7-0 and a 1st down. And Carlson hands off to Lorenzo White. He slips the tackle. And he's going to pick up 11 yards and the 1st down as we go to New York for an update.
Well, Charlie, Seattle held its 7-0 lead over Detroit into the 2nd quarter, but then Rodney Peete brings the Lions back with this 13-yarder to Herman Moore. Up and with the catch in the corner of the end zone, 7-7. Seahawks and the Lions in a pretty good game, 2nd quarter. Back to Charlie and Todd.
The next star in the NFL, Charlie, I really believe it is a wide receiver, Herman Moore of the Detroit Lions. 6'4", 210 pounds, runs 4'5", and can jump 7'2" in the high jump. I think he's going to be a real star.
Here's White again. And he'll have a yard to the 45-yard line of New England. It'll be 2nd down and 9. So as you obviously know, Cody Carlson has not gone back to throw the ball since coming into this series, bothered by the groin pull which he had wrapped on the sideline.
Yeah, but it's inevitable. It's the run and shoot.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to throw here sooner or later.
Lorenzo White, by the way, has rushed for 56 yards, 10 carries, an average of 5.5 yards. And Reggie Brown is into the offensive set for Houston. 2nd down and 9. Kenneth Lee sets up, has all the time in the world. Pass is complete right side to White. He has the 1st down. And you can see it's bothering him.
Oh, he's really hurting now. He's really hurting, and he's down.
Oh yeah.
He needs the injury timeout.
Yeah. Was it just on the throw when he said it, he made the throw? That's the first time he's put any pressure, any weight against the groin pull. And he,
Well, take a look at when he pushes off the right foot. Here it comes. Looks left, looks right, comes back to Lorenzo White. Now watch at the end. He puts the body English into it. Ouch. Oh, no. Too much pressure on the inside of that leg. That's exactly what happens sometimes. It's a strange injury, and one that's sad to say can linger for quite a while. When he pushes off the right foot, it's actually a little bit of the body English at the end is when you see that he starts to get hurt. Of course, White gets it forward for the 1st down. You got to be frustrated for Cody Carlson, who finally gets his opportunity to start and is doing a good job, runs for the touchdown, and now the groin injury.
And while they're administrating to Cody Carlson, here is a reminder of what is coming up next week here on NBC. Next Saturday, we're going to be at South Bend, USC Notre Dame game. Oh, that is one of the classic matchups of college football. The scores from yesterday, by the way, Florida State won. Alabama was tied, Notre Dame won, so it means that it'll be Florida State number 1, Notre Dame number 2. They meet November the 13th, and we will be there in South Bend for the clash of the Titans. Florida State and Notre Dame, number 1 and number 2. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, that is going to be a great
one of those few games which can't overdo the hype.
Oh, you really can't.
It's as big as it gets. And what a place to play it. It's great. Now, I like what they're doing there, the Houston Oilers, the teammates coming out to shake his hand and make him feel appreciated for his effort. You know, teams 1 and 4, it's very easy a lot of times to just sit down and let things go. But you can see that Carlson's popular amongst his mates, trying to do it hurt. Here's the mixed reaction of the fans for Warren Moon. Are they chanting Moon or are they booing?
A little of each. I think it's a mixed moon.
That's not a happy man right there. He's got to be exasperated. Here's my chance, finally.
And playing
Get
well.
in there, exactly right. Getting the protection, seeing the people downfield in the groin injury.
And now it becomes Warren Moon's ball game. He has a first down, 33-yard line of New England. And his opening pass is complete to Webster Slaughter. And he is out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
Now, for all intents and purposes, Slaughter should have absolutely got creamed, but the two men knocked themselves off. There's Carlson wondering and wondering what could have been today.
Second down 3.
Just outside the 26, second down and 3. The report is the groin strain re-injured. Questionable if he can come back. Moon fires. He is on target, and this should be the first down. As he goes to Ernest Gibbons, and Gibbons was right at the marker. And it will be a first down. So Warren comes out firing.
And why not? With the protection he's getting, right on the money to Gibbons. How many times have they done that in practice and games? A couple of thousand?
At least. And it's a first down at the 21-yard line. Houston leads 7-0. The Patriots had all kinds of opportunities earlier in the first half. Were unable to cash in. And here's Lorenzo White. And he is stopped by Mike Perez.
First bad cut of the day for Lorenzo White. The play's designed to go off tackle to the right. Take a look as the white shirts actually get a push if he just piles behind Donnelly. He's got 3 or 4 yards, but he decides to cut back against the grain, see if he can get a big carry, and he pays for it as Pitt stops him for no gain.
We're moving on the 2-minute mark, time remaining in the first half. And now the 2-minute warning will be given to both benches. Houston leads it 7-0. Come back, Houston out in front by a score of 7-0. Coming up, Domino Pizza's NFL Live halftime report with Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka, and OJ will be there, bring you up to date the scores and highlights of all the action around the NFL. And Jim will be speaking to Bills quarterback Jim Kelly. That's all at halftime. How was you thinking when I read that? You know, there are a few celebrities worldwide, Michael and OJ. You know, it's the first name with the initials, and everybody knows who you're talking about.
Ditka Simpson, and who's the other one?
Second down. And here is the blitz. Still enough pressure as it is picked up. The pass is complete. Going to go for about 5 yards to Ernest Gibbons.
I thought it was funny. They came with the blitz, came back when Warren audibled off, and then came up again. I'm thinking to myself, are you going to rattle a guy who's going to be 37 years of age next month? 5 Pro Bowls, thrown for over 50,000 yards? I don't think so. Watch him come up. There they come up. Now he audibles out. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now they come back. Oh, we're not really coming. Oh, yes, we are. Warren calmly sets to the right.
Is that Bruce Matthews who picked him up?
Third straight completion since he's been in.
And he faces a 3rd and 5. First third down that he's faced. good protection. Pass is complete. And let's see where he gets the spot. They're going to give him the 10-yard line. That is the spot of the reception, and that will be a first down. And it is Reggie Brown with the reception.
Here's another thing. Clock's running, less than a minute left. You see Warren Moon out there calm with his hands on his hips. No big deal. He's not in a big hurry. He's done this before.
Cincinnati nothing.
Moon now 4 for 4 for 21 yards. The Oilers going without Curtis Duncan and Leonard Harris, two of their wide receivers that are out with injuries. And here's Lorenzo White. And he's going to go to about the 7-yard line.
Now he's going to have to use one of his timeouts.
One of the things, of course, that he wants to do is not only use the timeout, but let the clock run down. He does not want to give the Patriots another opportunity. Remaining, and remember, if you want to call a timeout to kick a field goal at the end of the half, you want 4 seconds, no more. Less is okay, but no more than 4.
Okay, interesting point, too, here is that more than likely they're going to have to throw here. And if he throws and completes it, it's probably going to be a touchdown. If he throws and it's incomplete, the clock stops anyway. They come back for third down.
They want to score touchdown or field goal, and they do not want to have to kick off to New England. Moon again with good protection, throws over the middle, incomplete. Reggie Brown, the intended receiver, and we now have 19 seconds left.
Oh, boy. Warren Moon right on the money.
Yeah.
And look at the time he had. Reggie Brown comes back. I'm sure he wishes that he had his hands back.
Right there.
Right there. Oh, come on. You got to catch that ball. Look at what you can see Warren's reaction to the side. Take a look at number 1 in the background when he sees the ball go right through his hands. Look, he jumps and goes, oh, nuts! You got to catch that ball. Again, I'm thinking to myself, but Warren has to think back there, man, where is this protection been?
Oh,
Plenty of time.
And again, the protection is there, and the touchdown is there. Webster Slaughter. 8-yard touchdown pass. But I tell you, Brad Hopkins, Mike Munchak, Bruce Matthews, Doug Dawson, and Kevin Donnelly, who's now the right tackle rather than the left. They gave him all the time in the world.
All day to throw. Absolutely. Very maligned on Monday night. They did a poor job not only of protecting Warren Moon, but of generating any kind of running game. Now today, Lorenzo White nearly 60 yards rushing. Warren Moon comes in 4 for 5. He doesn't seem to be too overly excited. He figures, well, that's why I came in, right?
And here is the extra point attempt. And it is good.
Bill Briscoe's kick is good. 15 seconds remaining in the...
And now with 15 seconds remaining, Houston out in front by a score of 14-0. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, Webster Slaughter down here is going to find himself just in the back of the end zone. But again, the key issue here is Warren Moon having all day to throw. He has the chance to just take a look at number 89 right behind. He's just going to find the seam right there in the middle. Warren has plenty of time to see him, nails him with a touchdown. He's looking at Slaughter all the way. Down on one knee, nobody there.
And now with 15 seconds left to go in the first half, the Houston Oilers out in front of the New England Patriots by a score of 14-0. And there is the drive of 57 yards in 11 plays. And it took almost 5.5 minutes. Now, another thing to consider is that even though the Houston Oilers have a record of 1-4, a victory here would give them a record of 2-4. They are coming into a part, including this game, of their schedule, where their opponents this year have won only 21 games and lost 34. Now, earlier this season, their first 5 games, their opponents had won 16 and lost only 8. So this is the beginning, if you want to say, the soft underbelly of the schedule. And if the Oilers could pull it all together and give their quarterback, whoever it might be, the kind of protection that they're seeing here, they can get back into the race. And here is the kickoff. It is high and it is short. And it's picked up by 4 defenders. Mike Teeter with the tackle. Teeter tackle.
Well,
I had to say it.
I was about to say, in reinforcing that point, you remember that, yeah, the Houston Oilers have played poorly. Yeah, they should be better than 1 and 4 and all those different things. But, hey, there's 11 games left, and they're only 2 games out. It's not as if there's dominant teams there in the AFC Central.
And in the first 5 games, Houston 21 turnovers, and today, 0. Now, New England, though, impressive, and particularly in the first quarter and into the second period. See if they can get a semblance of an offense going. They're not going to try anything here. That's a smart move. Why make a mistake? You're not out of the ball game. You're down 14-0, and you go into halftime and you regroup. And we'll be back with Jim Lampley and Domino's Pizza, the NFL Live halftime report after a message from the NFL and a word from your local station.
Statistic for the Houston Oilers right there, no turnovers.
And also, I think the big standout, although you can't find it in the statistics, and that is the resurrection of the offensive line of the Houston Oilers. Before Cody Carlson had all the time in the world, and then with the groin injury, Warren Moon came in equally had all the time in the world.
Interesting point, too, because with David Williams, their starting right tackle, gone, with his wife and the newborn baby, they had to switch. Kevin Donnelly had to go from left to right. Brad Hopkins, a rookie, now has to start at left. They've been outstanding in the first half. They might keep it this way.
And Munchak also is bothered by injuries. Nobody knew how long he was going to be able to last, but he has made it through the first half, as has the offense of the Houston Oilers. Now, New England has had their opportunities. They were unable to cash in. A couple of interceptions were in reality dropped. They kick off. Houston will be on offense to start the second half, and here is Drury on the return. He'll stretch out close to the 20-yard line. At the beginning of the ball game, it looked as if the Patriots, in reality, had all of the magic going for them, and they couldn't cash in on it.
Well, think about this, Charlie. There was about 17 points that they could have had. First, of course, is the blocked field goal by Sean Jones. The interception by Renee Thompson, which is just a walk in the park. If he catches it, it's 20 yards into the end zone. And then, of course, they have a 4th and 1 at about the 15-yard line, and they can't cash in. So you figure that's 17 points they could have had, but
coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Houston from the 20-yard line. They had 2 couldas if they did them both. Scored 2 touchdowns. They lead 14-11. Here's Lorenzo White, and there's nothing there. And Warren Moon is starting the second half. It'll be second down and 10. Chris Slade making the tackle. We talked with him yesterday. Sorry, supposedly the report out is having lunch.
Well, actually,
talk to me, mother.
No. I'm gonna say this now. My producer Bill Bunnell embarrassed me because I came in and said, "Hey, how'd you get the nickname Soup Bone?" And he goes, "What are you talking about? That's not my nickname."
He's a very loquacious young man. Moon's pass is incomplete, going into coverage. Haywood Jeffries, the intended receiver. Maurice Hurst was there for New England. And it's going to be third down and 2.
You're right, throwing into coverage. Almost got it in there, but you're right, Hurst. Great play over the top to bat it away.
Now, from New England's standpoint, third down and 10. They hold here. If they can force Houston to kick, of course, they have Greg Montgomery, who has been outstanding. The Patriots on their first offensive possession in the second half to start with reasonably good field position.
And that would give the crowd a chance to get back in the game.
Yep. 1 second left on the play clock. Moon again with protection, has to loft it high. It is caught. It was rebounded off of the hands of a New England Patriot and then caught.
Oh, my goodness.
Gary Wellman.
Well, Bill Parcells is complaining just as we are. I mean, he had the same thing we saw. Now the official is saying incomplete.
It would have been 42 yards, but it wasn't. Now, as you know, the instant replay is no longer used. Let's see what happened.
Take a look at the ball. It actually it quails right there. Goes up for the catch. Underneath his
hadn't touched the
hand.
ground.
Hadn't touched it. Oh,
It should
boy.
be complete.
Certainly should.
Should be complete.
Now, he's not sure. He didn't hear a whistle, so why not take off?
And his teammates along the sideline were cheering him on.
Now, is it the hands or the ball that causes the bounce? Watch right here. You can't tell from that angle.
Inconclusive.
From the other angle.
I remember that word.
From the other angle of Maurice Hurst, it appeared that his hands were underneath the ball.
I thought so. All right, for down Montgomery kicking. Crittenden is the return man. High snap. Oh, another great kick.
Good.
Oh, what a weapon. All the way back to the 24-yard line. Out of the 30, the 35, 40. Good return. Up the sideline, 50, and then out of bounds. 28 yards on the return by the rookie free agent from Virginia Tech. And just as you said, the crowd, a sellout crowd at Foxborough, they are back into the ballgame. For Montgomery, 57 yards on the punt. Here's another look at the
Watch number 82 coming to your screen, Travis Hanna. He lost contain. He's the fastest player on the team, a 4.3 40 guy, but number 82 overruns the play and enables Crittenden to get to the outside and get a big return.
And so the Patriots down 14-0. Start the second half offensively at the 46-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Scott Secules, the quarterback. Play action fake. Has pressure and he goes down. So he is sacked.
With the keeper.
William Fuller got him. That is the second sack for the Oilers. Sean Jones got the first one in the first half.
A gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 9.
Well, unfortunately for William Fuller, it won't count as a sack.
No, they're going to give him a yard, aren't they?
Gets a yard.
Yeah.
He does a good job fighting off Harlow and getting to Secules.
I'll scratch off that sack.
Defensive linemen don't like that. They go to all that trouble, tackle the guy. What are you talking about, line of scrimmage?
Then I'll put it back. All right by me. Second down and 9. And here is Leonard Russell. 44-yard line. Eddie Robinson with the tackle.
You know, the running game's so aggressive early in the first half. First 4 carries, Leonard Russell had 32 yards. Now he has only 40. He has only 11 since then. Coming with the blitz, that's a lot of white shirts that have to be blocked, and Robinson comes off the block of Baldinger to make the stick.
Third down and 7.
Excuse me, only 9 yards since those initial 4 carries.
Over the middle. Great reception. Troy Brown, the rookie from Marshall, 14 yards. Now he stands 5'9", and he used every inch.
Well, this is a bit of a mismatch because you have Eddie Robinson, the outside linebacker, in man-for-man coverage. Watch to the right of your screen. When he makes the catch, you'll see number 50 in the trail position. That's a wide receiver being covered by an outside backer. That's a mismatch that the Patriots should win every time.
Mark hit at the 31-yard line and a first down. Double tight end on the shed, and that means that Ben Coates, who has scored 4 touchdowns, is in the ballgame. 4 touchdowns on the season. Here's the quarterback draw. There's nothing there. Maybe a yard. It's going to be second and long. Ray Childress making the tackle.
Ray Childress not having the kind of year that Houston fans are used to. There's a man who has led the defensive linemen in tackles over the last 4 or 5 years and sacks 2 years ago. He arguably could have been Defensive Player of the Year in 1991, the year that he had, but thus far only 1 sack, and his tackles have been limited as well.
Al Smith also had a piece of the play. Second and 9 at the 30-yard line. Play action fake, roll right, pass is complete, 20-yard line. Little stutter step inside the 10, and it's Kevin Turner, the fullback. It'll be first and goal to go, 22 yards of the play.
Every team in the National Football League has their fake counter boot. Watch the flow. Go to the left. He comes back to the right. There's Turner out in the flat. He dumps the ball off, and Turner does the rest, cutting upfield, cutting back against the grain. If you recall last week against the Phoenix Cardinals, he was the one that caught the flat pass and had the lateral to Leonard Russell that turned out to be an 81 or 82-yard play. Kevin Turner replacing the injured Sam Gash at fullback today.
First down, goal to go. 7-yard line. 46-yard touchdown drive. And on the 46-yard touchdown drive, Scott Secules 3 of 3 passes for 43 of the 46 yards. So now Scott Sisson will kick off for New England. Drury and Mills are the return men from the Oilers, and Houston leads by 7. And here is John Henry Mills from the goal line. Out to the 15, and then he is smothered. And the sellout crowd will now become a part of the story here.
Now, I know that John Henry Mills is an outstanding athlete, but at 6 feet 225, is that a guy that should be returning kicks? As we see Kevin Turner scoring the touchdown that gets the crowd right back in the game for the Patriots.
First down, they're on 15-yard line. Warren Moon is the quarterback. Rolls right. And it is incomplete. Gibbons couldn't pull it in bounds. It'll be second down and 10.
Very important here for the Houston Oilers to generate something, or else New England is right back in the football game. A lot of time to throw, rolls right. Again, has plenty of time, should have thrown off his back foot, because in throwing off his front foot, he doesn't have the accuracy that he would otherwise, and Gibbons is wide open, but as you mentioned, too far out of bounds.
Brad Hopkins, the rookie. Mike Munjak, he's injured. Bruce Matthews, Doug Dawson, Kevin Donnelly, left tackle, now playing right tackle. Again, giving Moon plenty of time to throw. This one is just dumped off to Lorenzo White, and he goes out after a gain of around 8 yards on the play. It'll be third down and short. Vincent Brown was in hot pursuit for New England.
I don't know if the game plan differs when Warren gets back in the game instead of Cody Carlson, but noted that Lorenzo White made a major contribution in the first half running the football for 62 yards. Now, thus far, of course, I realize it's only the second series of the second half, but he's yet to carry the ball.
Third down and 2. Is complete for the first down to the far side to Gibbons.
And he just shows right there that he's a lot stronger than his 5'9", 170-pound frame would indicate. Catches the ball, sticks his head down, and gets about an additional 5 yards. I would argue that this is one of, if not the toughest wide receiver in the league. At his height and the things that he has to do in the middle of the field, he continues to do it time and time again and come up with the catches and still get knocked down and come back for more. He's only missed, I believe, 2 games since he came into the league in 1986.
Pound for pound?
The Sugar Ray Robinson wide receiver?
First down, 30-yard line. And here is White, as you suggested, and he'll pick up about 8 yards on the play. It's going to be second down and short.
Well, clearly the run and shoot, the pass sets up the run.
Vincent Brown with the last tackle.
Spreads people out. Watch the interior, watch Matthews come off the ball, and watch the white shirts move the blue shirts. There's the gap. Running behind Dawson, lowers his shoulder, and you're right, Vincent Brown makes the tackle. He is the leading tackler, but you don't want to make him those tackles 8 yards downfield.
White 70 yards rushing in 14 carries. And it'll be second down and 2. White again, and he's got the first down. And when you talk to the offensive linemen of the Houston Oilers, believe me, they prefer the run to the shoot. They like to knock people down.
I was about to say that this has to be a fun game for them in terms of the fact that offensive linemen want to hit people, but when you're always in the pass block mode, you're getting hit. It's a chance for them to get off the ball and knock people down, and that's exactly what they're doing. Great job by Kevin Donnelly hooking Andre Tippett, even though he gets on the tackle once again, 6-7 yards downfield.
And remember, Houston started at their own 15. They're now now at their own 45. They have a first down and a lead, 14-7. Just over 7 minutes to go. We're in the third safety blitz. But it was Slade who finally put the pressure, and the pass to Gibbons is incomplete.
Chris Slade, 5 sacks coming into this game, leading the New England Patriots. But Bill Parcells told us that a lot of times he gets a little confused if he has to do something other than rush the passer. But right here, that's what he's doing. Pushes off Hopkins, comes in and knocks Moon to the ground, but not before the ball's thrown.
And Harlan Barnett with a safety blitz, he came about 10 yards back. Almost got there. Didn't quite make it. And it's 2nd and 10. Three-man rush. Everybody is in coverage. Pass is complete.
Pass complete to number 88, Gary Wellman.
And that is Gary Wellman.
Thompson on the tackle.
And in this ball game, his first NFL start, Renee Thompson with the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down.
6 yards to the Patriots' 49-yard line. 3rd down.
Now he looks like a football player. Look at the grass being picked off his head. A little bit dusty. He feels, all right, I'm a part of things now. Cool.
3rd down and 4. Oilers converted on 3rd and 2 in this drive. Slaughter's the motion man. And a little miscue on the snap. Pressure was coming from the linebacker, one of the linebackers, and that was Vincent Brown, and we had whistles at the same time, and the penalty is going to go against the Oilers. Brown got there in a hurry.
False start on the quarterback. Still 3rd down.
And that's called on Warren Moon.
I'm surprised that they're coming up third and 5 where they were, that he didn't come up and do what Elway does frequently. And Warren's good at that too, and that is drawing people off sides.
He may have been trying it and got caught with a head bob.
Head, yeah.
The pass is complete at the 40-yard line. And that is Pat Coleman, and his first reception, and is good for 14 in the first down. Harlan Barnett with the tackle.
You know, for somebody that hasn't played, this is a big catch by Coleman. 3rd and 10. He comes off the bench kind of ice cold, cuts across on the deep cross. Warren Moon plenty of time. Now he's going to get hammered as soon as he catches the ball, but he's able to hang on to it despite the big hit from Harlan Barnett.
And a New England player is injured over at the 25-yard line. That's Darrell Wren.
Horn Jewelers and Seiko, manufacturers of some of the world's finest.
So while we have a moment, a reminder,
Player of the game for the
next Sunday, NBC Sports presents another great NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live, Buffalo and the Jets, Cincinnati at Houston, Pittsburgh at Cleveland, and New England against Seattle. That is next Sunday. An NFL doubleheader here on NBC. So Darrell Wren being worked on the far sideline, and the rookie free agent from Pitt, Vernon Lewis, has replaced him. And Houston with a first down at the 40-yard line. They'll reset the game clock at 5:43.
You mentioned Vernon Lewis. Not an opportune time for a rookie free agent to have to get his baptism of fire in the National Football League against Warren Moon in the run and shoot.
Well, you got to have it sometime.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely.
And he's thrilled. Hey, let me play.
Let me play, right.
Slaughter's in motion. And here's Lorenzo White on the draw. Tripped up. Stays on his feet. And he may pick up the first down. They'll give him the spot at the 30-yard line, and that is going to be ever so close to the first down. Looks like they're going to mark it about a half a step shy of the first down. I'll take a look. And we'll have a measurement.
Once again, the argument is presented. I know the argument has been made ad nauseum regarding the Detroit Lions as to whether or not the full wide receiver offense is better suited to Barry Sanders because it creates space, or are you better off to have the tight end so you can have a strong side blocking and establish that line of scrimmage. Clearly, the four wide receivers are benefiting Lorenzo White today because of the fact that the people who are in the run support have to have their backs turned to stay with the wideouts.
and it's just that distance, so it'll be second and a smidge.
Do you have an opinion on that? If I have Barry Sanders, my personal feeling, if I have Barry Sanders, I run a Washington Redskin type offense.
I think if you have Barry Sanders, you can run anything.
Well, yeah, he is that good.
Sure.
So you can see downfield. Now watch when it takes so long for the run support to get up. The first guy that approaches him right there is Maurice Hurst, and that's at 9 yards. And that's because he has to be in coverage.
This current drive of Houston, 55 yards in 9 plays.
It's second down.
This is what this is the other thing that the run and shoot creates, Charlie, is inevitably your best tacklers in a lot of cases are your strong safeties and your inside backers. When you have the 4 wideouts, those people have to come off the field in favor of corners who are not as effective tackling.
Quarterback sneak, and he's got it. And the ball comes loose. New England says a whistle had not sounded.
They're going to call him down.
And they're going to call him down to the first down.
I think that was...
Now, I wonder if we have an audio replay. I'm not sure I heard the whistle.
Parcells certainly doesn't think so.
And the play is not dead by rule until the whistle blows.
But you can really... You know what? This is Warren's fault here, because why is he churning for the extra yardage?
Here comes. Let's listen. Oh, that's a fumble.
That is.
That is a fumble. New England should have the ball.
Well, if you believe in trade-offs, and it's that for the Gary Roman
reception,
right?
And here's the sack. Aaron Jones, that is the first sack of a Houston quarterback of the ballgame.
Bill Parcells is still arguing vehemently with the officials that ball should be his, and
he's
based
right.
on that replay, you'd have to say yes.
Yeah, he is absolutely right. And if you are a lip reader, then you know what he said. But so do we.
Yeah, he's saying, who do you like tonight in the Blue Jay Phillies game? That's what that F is. Phillies.
Second and 16 at the 35-yard line. Moon to throw. Drops it off right side of Lorenzo White. And he's back to the 30-yard line.
Good call. Hadn't run it all day. A good time to call it, but Lorenzo White a little bit impatient and didn't wait for his extra lineman, and that's the reason he was tackled for such a short gain. They had a real shot there of getting a big play if he'd have just waited for one more lineman.
The ball right on the 30-yard line. Play of the drive. Third down and 10. And a blitz is shown up the middle. Moon has backside pressure, pulled down. Chris Slade got him. Second sack for the Patriots.
Very close to the time. He snapped it right between the 0 and the 1. I don't know if that's what it is. Might have offsides.
Offsides against New England. Now remember, that was third down and 10.
That's a big play in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Defense. The middle of the line. Still third down.
Not simply the fact that it's a penalty against them, but that sack had taken them out of field goal range.
Yes.
There's the neutral zone. Here he comes across.
Oh, he was very close to getting back.
That was Ray Agnew there. Tough call.
25-yard line, third down and 5. Moon now with protection. The pass is
What a catch.
complete.
What a catch.
Yeah.
What a catch by Webster Slaughter.
A gain of 16. It'll be first down and goal to go at the 8-yard line.
To a man on this Houston team, all those wide receivers, who has the best hands, every single one says the same thing. Number 89, Webster Slaughter. Notice without the tack-a-fight gloves, sliding down. What a catch.
Oh, yeah.
What a great catch. So made him famous there in Cleveland.
First down, goal to go. Again, Houston started this drive. Remember, ever so long ago, 2 minutes left now. In the third, they started at their own 15-yard line. Play action fake. Dropped over the middle to Slaughter at the 5, and he is dropped. by Barnett.
One thing that I'm surprised...
And he comes up limping.
One thing I'm surprised that we haven't seen at this point, Charlie, is that the teams that have played the Houston Oilers in the first part of the season have been very successful with corner blitzes. And as yet, we have not seen the corner blitz by the New England Patriots. In fact, it was a steady diet, particularly, I remember with the New Orleans Saints and the Buffalo Bills, to knock them off their game. As yet, that hasn't happened.
Spotted at the 4, it's second and goal. And here's Lorenzo White, and he is going to go to about the 2-yard line. Aaron Jones and Ray Agnew. They make the tackle.
Now, I'm wondering if you're Warren Moon in this situation, you say, look, it's 4-down territory. We're going to give it to him twice and see if he can punch it in from 2 yards out. The offensive line has really generated a push. And I think that if I'm Jack Pardee in this situation, that's what I do. Bring in my tight end.
I'd like that call because the offensive line has played so well. Let them get the credit here.
And here's the other thing that you and I have agreed on in theory is once you bunch everybody inside, that gives them a chance to bunch too. With the wide receivers spread out, they can't put 8 people in the middle.
Here's pressure. And the pass is complete and spiked by Webster Slaughter. His second touchdown of the ball game, 2 yards on the play.
I'll tell you the thing that they do so very well. John Stallworth and Terry Bradshaw are the first ones to do this. It looks like he's running an out, but instead he cuts right back to the ball, and he's wide open. Bradshaw and Stallworth used to do that. Make it look like you're running out, and then all of a sudden stop. Throw before you turn around. Wide open. Slaughter has his second touchdown.
You want to know something else? He almost didn't have possession. He spiked it so quickly.
He did.
I mean, it was... Al Del Greco will now attempt his 138th consecutive successful field goal and extra point, and he makes it.
Al Del Greco's kick is good.
And so that drive of 85 yards, Houston leads by 14.
Where the rapport of a receiver and quarterback is crucial. This is going to be an out route, and right here he's going to turn around and come back to Warren Moon, and Warren is going to see it and get him the ball right in the right spot. Again, give credit to that offensive line for letting Warren Moon bide his time.
Al Del Greco kicking off for Houston. From the 10-yard line, Troy Brown. And pulled down at the 20.
Troy Brown on
And the man who got him, John Henry Mills, tight end.
John Henry Mills.
Where were you at 9:47 this morning, 8:47 Central Time? Well, if you would have been here, this is what it looked like. The fog, as you can see, working its way into the stadium, and then it clears. And are you ready for this? It's starting to work its way back into the stadium.
A foggy day in Foxborough town.
Were you at the karaoke bar last night? All right, here's New England from their own 20-yard line. Now the fog's not at that. It's creeping in, coming in from the other side. Houston out in front, 21-7. Secules throws downfield, and it is incomplete in the flag.
Yeah, they have to call that.
Michael Timpson, the intended receiver. Steve Jackson has the sheepish look on his face.
He does. Part of being a young DB, look, it's not a catchable ball anyway. Look at this. It would have been completely passed.
Number 24, defense.
Way too early.
First down.
So it's a first down at the 42-yard line, 22-yard penalty.
He knows it. Steve Jackson in for the injured Darrell Lewis.
We talked about that 85-yard touchdown drive. In addition, it took 9 minutes and 38 seconds. 9:38 on that drive. It also took the crowd out. And this one is dropped to the 45-yard line. Ben Coates, he has the sure hands. Doesn't do that often. Al Smith was there for Houston. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, once again, the point, too, made with regards to the run and shoot is one of the myths is that you can't control the ball with the run and shoot. Oh, yeah?
You know, one thing I want to point out, this is a good ball game. This is a good ball game. They have both played well. They've had, some spots where they haven't played that well. But I think that regardless of the outcome, the Patriots right now on the losing end, they can see the improvement in the building. And the Houston Oilers, if they continue to win, then perhaps they're back on the winning track. And you mentioned they're coming into the soft part of their schedule. Secules has completed 9 of 14 for 117 yards. And make that 10 of 50, and we've got a flag down back at the 36-yard line. Kevin Turner caught the pass. Bubba McDowell decked him. And now here's the flag.
I think they got a personal foul on Pat Harlow hitting Fuller after the play.
What did Pat Harlow say to us yesterday? Said, I hardly wait for game day because the practices of this man are too hard and too long.
That's exactly right.
He said on Sunday afternoons we can relax and have fun. They look forward to the day off from practice.
77, offense with a leg whip. Still second down.
Harlow, of course, played his collegiate ball at USC, and again next Saturday, USC and Notre Dame, one of the great rivalries, and we'll be there in South Bend. I'm really looking forward to that ball.
10 straight years that the Domers have been on top. USC looking to break that skid.
And it will be hard to do. Notre Dame looked just super against BYU.
Take a look at number 77 on the leg whip. To the right of your screen, he's in pass block. He's going to come to the middle now. Look at number 95, Fuller, pushes him to the side. Now, what does he do with the right leg? He sure does. Kicks him right in the groin.
That is the end of the third quarter, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Presented by authority of the National.
Here is the scoring by quarters. If you weren't with us at the beginning of the ballgame, New England shut out in the first half, and they had opportunities, 2 interceptions that were dropped that they could have had excellent field position, if not a score. Secules. And the pass is complete, and it is Kevin Turner all the way to midfield. Big play for the Patriots. That was second and 25, and they picked up 24 yards.
Well, Turner's becoming a very effective pass catcher out of the backfield, particularly today. This is what's called a swing route. It's a little bit of an out and up, and they catch him right in the seam. That's a pretty good safety that he just knocked off there, and Bubba McDowell getting the extra yardage.
Third down and 1, double tight end on this set. Houston with too many men on the field, and now they make a substitution. One running off, one running on, and a timeout is taken by New England. That's an interesting change of event. 14-18, the time remaining. And we'll step aside. Houston leads 21-7.
Brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By John Nuveen and Company, where we still believe our strongest bond is human. By Coca-Cola Classic, always the real thing, always Coca-Cola. And by Energizer brand batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going.
14-18, that is the time remaining. It is third down and 1 for New England, 49-yard line of Houston. They have 3 tight ends into the offensive set. And a play action fake, and all alone, overthrown, big coach. Oh my goodness, it was a touchdown. Secules missed him. Oh, everybody bet on the 3 tight ends. Now, the 4th and 1, they may go for it here.
They go for it anyway. There's the inexperience, Charlie, of the quarterback. Just take another 2 steps back, and just throw a pop fly. Don't try and throw it perfectly here. You've got plenty of time.
Look at that.
Just lob it out there. That's exactly right. You don't want a perfect throw there. Just throw a pop-up. Throw a pop-up that he can camp underneath, that he could fair catch. Whatever. Don't try and lead him perfectly.
Ooh.
Now he has to call timeout.
Now he'll take a timeout. So almost back-to-back timeouts, so one play in between us. How did you do that?
You can see the frustration.
Oh, yeah, it was perfectly set up.
Yeah.
And everybody bought it. Everybody bought it. And I tell you what, let's buy a trip to New York. And Jim Lampley with an update.
Buy this. The price is all yours, Charlie. We told you how Mel Gray's early fumble off the opening kickoff had set up a Seattle touchdown. In the third quarter, after a Casey field goal brings Seattle to within 14-10, Gray atones for the Lions, going 95 yards. 6th kick return touchdown of his career. Detroit now leads 24-10 in the third. Back to Charlie and Todd.
2 years ago, Mel Gray led the National Football League in both punt and kickoff returns. You could argue this because I know there are a lot of great guys, Nolan Smith, Rick Upchurch, J.T. Smith, but that guy might be the best returner in history, Mel Gray.
I think I would go with that. I would go with that. And right now, the frustration of Bill Parcells with the young ball club, the big play was there for the taking, and he couldn't take it. 4th and 1. This is going to be close. Kevin Turner, the fullback, I think he's got it.
I do too.
Yep. Now, he was pushed all the way back to the 42-yard line. But they gave him the penetration, the forward motion. Right then, he said, okay, buddy, stay cool. We've got the first down.
Oh, they could have so much more.
Oh, yeah. Secules has completed 10 of 16 for 141 yards. And the touchdown.
Turner showing a little vertical here, but it is close. Good spot by the side judge, though, right on top of it.
48-yard line of Houston. And a first down. Oilers lead by 14, 21-7. Secules to throw. Good protection. Fires. This one's complete. The rookie, Vincent Brisby, brought down by Steve Jackson. Good pass.
In route, had him coming from the left side, put it right on the rope.
First down.
Good shot.
33-yard line.
Good protection by the offensive line of New England. There it is. Tight spiral. Oh, Turner almost touched that ball too. Good thing he let it go.
Play action fake. Pressure fires. Wobbly. Caught. 24-yard line. And it's Brisby again. Good catch. Going into coverage. 9 yards on the play. Jackson with the tackle. It's going to be second and short.
And a little more composure shown on the part of Secules that time. They came with the blitz, and Bubba McDowell nails him just as he gets the ball off. And it's kind of the Joe Cap throw. It ain't pretty. Goes end over end. Take a look. He pump fakes and takes a shot from McDowell there right at the end.
24-yard line, second and 1. 12:44 and counting. That is the time remaining in the ball game. Pump fake has pressure, throws before he goes down. It is intercepted. Big mistake for the quarterback. Threw it away. You've got to take the loss. Houston has the interception and the ball.
And then to add insult to injury there at the end, Montgomery knocks him down.
And it is Bubba McDowell with the interception. That is the first turnover of the ball game. And as Bill Parcells told us yesterday, we're a ball club that cannot make mistakes. And they made a big one here. We'll be back in a moment.
VA MVP Charles Barkley leads the field.
Charlie mentioned big mistake on the part of Secules. Glenn Montgomery with a great pass rush. Pump fake just as he's going down trying to get rid of it. He throws it away right into the arms of Bubba McDowell. Surprisingly, the first turnover. But to add insult to injury, here's Montgomery at the end of the play. I got you once, I'll get you again.
Houston now from their own 15-yard line leading 21-7 with 12:23 time remaining. Lorenzo White the ball carrier. And Vincent Brown makes the tackle. Now, if you have been with us from the beginning, then you know that for the Oilers, Cody Carlson, the starting quarterback, out now with a groin strain. And he had an excellent ball game while he was in there, replaced now by Warren Moon. Now, today we have seen that the Moon also rises. Warren has completed 13 of 18 for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. Second down and 8. Play action fake. He comes back again to Lorenzo White. That's like the 4th time in the ball game that we have seen that play. Vincent Brown with the tackle.
Now, you know, Warren admitted to the fact that he wasn't doing so well. You can see in this quote, he says, frustrated, disappointed, trying to find answers. I'm searching, but running out of excuses. And when asked about the quarterback change, he flat out said, well, if I were the head coach, I'd think seriously about it. Well, they did more than think about it. They replaced him with Cody Carlson. But as you pointed out, he has come back with some big numbers. It'll be an interesting dilemma for Jack Pardee come next week. The team's 2-4. Warren clearly has played well. Is he the quarterback?
His decision. I think so. I I think flag is down. Now, this is a pass complete to Lorenzo White. He put a stutter step and 2 or 3 moves, and he put them on Harlan Barnett. Barnett didn't take any of the fakes and made the tackle. This will have a holding call.
This will be an interesting situation here. Do you want to move them back to 10 yards and play field position, run the risk of another play, or do you want to let it go? I think Parcells wants the ball back, and they'll decline it.
Yeah. That was on 3rd down, so it'll be 4th down and a couple.
77 offense. It's decline. 4th down.
Now, we have talked about Cody Carlson. We have talked about Warren Moon. We have talked about the offensive line of the Houston Oilers. And right here, this may be the most valuable player. He has had an absolutely fabulous afternoon. Greg Montgomery, the kicker.
Well, that's the reason why I debate as to whether or not maybe you do want to move him back 10 yards. Now the guy punts from the 23, and if he hits one of those satellites, you might not have the same field position.
Ray Crittenden is the return man. High snap, and he drives this one.
Low kick.
Taken at the 21-yard line. That should set up a return to the 30. Inside-out fake. That's going to be off. He's going to get 8 to 10 yards on 10 yards on the return, but a 56-yard kick by Greg Montgomery. Back in a moment.
Travis Hanna on the tackle.
Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas.
Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen. 10:32 left in the ball game. Houston leads 21-7. New England has the ball at their own 28-yard line.
Tickets for today's game.
And the Patriots have had opportunities, and they've let them slip away. They've made some youthful mistakes. Play action fake. Secules has pressure. Steps forward. Just dumps it off. This is entered Russell. Russell's still on his feet. Oh, he stands in against everybody.
Secules pass is complete to number 32, Leonard Russell. Ray Childress on the tackle. There is a flag now.
It'll be a holding call against New England. And one of the things that Bill Parcells told us, he said, we are not a good enough ball club to overcome mistakes. And we have to play error-free football. Here's a program note on NBC. Next Saturday, the Phoenix Suns, led by 93 NBA MVP Charles Barkley, and by the way, he is feeling okay, and they're going to travel to Munich, Germany, for the McDonald's Open. They'll go up against 5 national champions from around the world: Brazil, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. The McDonald's Open, that is next Saturday at noon Eastern Time here on NBC. Noon Eastern Time Saturday. That is the opening act, of course, for Notre Dame USC that we'll be doing. And Andy Rosenberg, our director here, is going to be there in Munich. And we will miss it. Corey Kroom is now in as a running back for the New England Patriots. It is intercepted. It'll be a touchdown. Steve Jackson, 18 yards, and he was just lurking in the wings waiting to pick that one off. And he's been practicing on the high step.
This was such a bad pass that he actually hesitated. He hesitated as to whether or not to go for the interception or bat it down. Take a look at the left of your screen. You're going to see, as the ball is thrown, he thinks about he's going to hit him. Hopefully we can get that from another angle, but he catches it, and there he is. He's gone. Thrown across his body. That's a tough throw. Oh, look at this. I'd say he's excited. A little funk here for the people in Foxborough.
And that should pretty well wrap it up for Houston. Here's the extra point. And the score, Houston 28, New England 7. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment.
Yeah. Good. 9:58 left in the fourth.
Solve the biggest mystery.
Happy about it. We'll give you a chance to look at it right after the kickoff.
Al Del Greco to kick.
Al Del Greco will be kicking off.
Troy Brown, Ray Crittenden.
Troy Brown, number 80, and Ray Crittenden, number 81. They are the return men for New England. And it is taken at the 4 by Crittenden, and he's out to the 20. And he'll return to 23, maybe the 24-yard line. So now we'll go back to that interception.
Take a look down here at Jackson. When he backpedals and then when he cuts up, he'll actually hesitate, take a little bow here like he's going to make the hit, and he'll see the ball in the air and say, well, wait a minute, I can pick this off, and off he goes.
Carlson Travel Network. Aquarium.
Watch the hesitation, right? Oh, I guess I can get it. And there he goes.
Join the Patriots in sunny Miami on November 21 for only 2 weeks. $475, including airfare, hotel, game tickets, and breakfast. Call Carlson at 1-800.
New England 9:49. That is the time remaining. Drew Bledsoe, of course, out with that sprained left knee, and that's going to be on a week-to-week basis. Scott Secules is the quarterback. He sends Russell in motion. Comes back to throw. And it is a short hop to Russell, incomplete. And the Bluebirds are now out here at Foxborough. You know, I'm not sure that I agree with the booing because New England has had some opportunities. They had a couple of breaks that went with it. There are a couple of officiating calls that were wrong, working out both sides. But it's a young, improving ball club, and they play pretty good football. They've made some mistakes, but they expect to make mistakes.
Well,
And Houston's one of the class teams of the league. They just haven't been playing up to it. Now they are.
Okay. I'm going to have to agree with the booing because the three just atrocious throws. But that was a
And
good
he
one
comes
there.
back with a good one. And that's to Vincent Brisby. And a first down. And a gain of 13 yards. Don't give up so quickly.
I'm not giving up. I'm just making the point that up to this point, those 2 interceptions are really huge. Right there, he puts it right on the money. Brisby with a nice catch and a first down for the Pats at the 30.
Oh, the interception that he threw, probably only John Elway can get away with that kind of a throw from that position and get it there in time for it not to be picked off.
Well, then everybody else but John Elway more than likely wouldn't make the throw in the first
That's
place.
right, and he shouldn't. And he made a mistake, and he paid for it.
Hence, he got booed.
That's right. And wisely throwing this one away. Now he was decked, and a flag was already down. That was Eddie Robinson who decked him.
Well, now, clearly,
And the play had already been stopped because there had been contact with the offensive line.
clearly the play is completely dead. Now, whether or not Eddie Robinson heard the whistle is debatable.
Yeah, but he has to.
Well, you're right, and Johnny Greer made the right
I
call.
mean, he can't come over and say, I didn't hear the whistle.
But my point is that I don't think it was a malicious hit on the part of Robinson.
No.
And that's what Buddy Ryan's saying. Say, wait a minute, you blew the whistle. Who hears it? Who doesn't? What's the deal?
And remember earlier on the Warren Moon fumble, no fumble. The whistle is not blown.
We have offside. Defense. It's declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 50 defense. It's accepted. First down.
Well, the reason it's accepted is right here. The play technically right now is dead. The play is completely dead.
However,
And so hitting him right there, not only hitting him late, but coming up on the chin strap a little bit is what Johnny Greer calls. Hence the reason for the 15 yards.
but to go back again, the play should have been stopped, but Secules he's going through the motions, and once an offensive player is running with the ball or he's getting the throw or whatever he's doing, you're a defensive player, you're going to hit him.
Well, and a lot of times, Charlie, throughout the season, we have seen the referee jump in front of the quarterback to stop the play.
That's right.
Johnny Greer opted not to do that.
Should have done it. Fumble, and it is picked up by a New England player. That's Kevin Turner. And he comes around the corner, and a flag comes 22 yards through the air. Was it stripped, or did it fall out of his hand?
Appeared to me like his arm was going forward. So once again, face mask.
Face mask. They're going to tack that on the end of the play if the play stands. But if the arm was going forward, it had been an incomplete pass, and the play would have been dead then. We're having a little bit of everything this afternoon.
Face mask. Number 25 defense. First down.
That's on Bubba McDowell. Now, watch to see if the arm is going forward.
Now, when he steps forward, steps away from the rush. A lot of white shirts, pulls it back. Now, let's see, right there.
Well, that's a fumble.
Well, the arm's going forward, but McDowell's the one that strips it.
Yes, the ball
That's
never
interesting.
hit.
Not only does McDowell make the strip, but then he gets up and he's the guy with the face mask. Amazing.
It is incomplete. Tipson, the intended receiver, Dishman with the coverage.
Now, that's the play of a veteran cornerback, Chris Dishman. He was all over Timpson. And what he does so well, and he's coming to the official about it right there, watch as he turns, he cuts off the path of the wide receiver and looks back to the quarterback. The minute you look back to the quarterback, it's anybody's ball. And so even though he cuts off the path of the receiver, there's no way they're going to call that interference. Great coverage by 28 Dishman.
That, from an official standpoint, you look at both of them as receivers.
Correct.
And they have an equal chance to the ball. Second down, pass is complete underneath the coverage. And a fumble. And that is Greg McMurtry, and it looks as if the ball was going to bounce right back to him. It does, and it's going to end up a first down.
McMurtry, a former first-round pick of the Boston Red Sox back in 1985, and he shows his ability to come up with the ground ball.
The Houston 28-yard line.
A little bit of a look-in pass. Comes back to the outside, and Dishman punches the ball out from the back, and you're right, it bounces right back to him. Comes down, plays shortstop, comes up with it, and Dishman can't strip it away from him. A fortuitous bounce for number 86.
And a first down at the 28-yard line. 7:56 and counting. Time remaining in the ballgame. Oilers up 28-7. New England piecing together a drive. It hasn't been pretty, but it's working. Going deep, single coverage, pushing contest knocked away. Good defensive play. Frisbee, the intended receiver, and Jackson knocked it away.
Here's the difference between the young player and the veteran player. Jackson, in that case, Charlie, was a lot more lucky than good. He doesn't turn soon enough. Look at that. He hasn't seen it yet. Now he turns back just in time. And actually, if Frisbee was a little bit quicker, he might have come up with the ball. Take a look.
But watch him stick that right hand in.
Turns just a little too late, and he's lucky to have that right hand in there. Otherwise, it's 6 for the Pats.
Secules has completed 14 of 25, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And it is 2nd and 10. And he has a blitz coming, and throws to the hot receiver off of the blitz, and that is Marv Cook, the tight end. Good read. And for an update, let's go to New York, and here's Jim Lampley. Jim?
All right, let's take a look at
Marv Cook. That was his 200th career reception. And he's hobbled just a bit. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 19. Play action, fake pass fired, complete 3-yard line. Michael Simpson, and we've got flags everywhere. 16 yards if it stands, but the play is bracketed by flags.
Well, Houston had too many people on the field again. And I think the other flag is an interference penalty, which they'll let go. Clearly, they want the play.
This would be the 2nd time in this ball game the Oilers have had the inappropriate amount of people.
And that would make 5 in 2 games, which doesn't make that man too happy.
And here's Johnny.
We have 2 fouls on the defense. 12 men on the field. And pass interference, number 28. They both will be declined. First down.
Ball at the 4-yard line. First down and goal to go.
Here comes the sprint off the field. Does he get off before the ball's hiked? Clearly he doesn't. Not only that, at the bottom of your screen, if you notice, Jackson, who was almost ready to come off the field himself, was offside. So that would have been a 4th penalty if they'd have cared to, or a 4th flag, rather, if they'd have cared to put it in there.
First down and goal to go at the 4. Secules' pass is caught. And that is Simpson, and they're going to mark him down at the 1. So it'll be 2nd down and goal to go at the 1. 6.5 minutes left to go in the ballgame. That's still a lot of time.
It's quite a catch here. Look at him laying out. Timpson, all hands there, catches both ends of the ball. That's a terrific catch. You don't see that happen very often where you have the guy's hands on both ends of the ball.
Houston casually making defensive changes, 5 or 6 players. If New England hustles up their offense, they can catch him unawares again. And there's nothing there for Leonard Russell. It's going to be 3rd down and goal to go. They may have lost a little on that.
Once again, good penetration on the part of Montgomery and Childers at the tackle positions. If you're with us at the beginning of the game, you recall that on a 4th and 1 at about the 15-yard line, New England Patriots were unable to get it. Similar push by the part of the Oiler front 4.
New England now with 3 tight ends, Marv Cook, Ben Coates, and Brandon Moore, who's a tackle that moves over to tight end. Secules rolls, throws, and it is incomplete. Good defensive play as he was rolling right and was hoping to be all alone and he was not. He wanted to throw to Ben Coates, but he had to hurry the throw.
Well, the good play was by Michael Barrow. Watch 51 from the right of your screen. He's not fooled at all by the play fake. He's right on top of Secules, forcing him to throw the ball sooner than he wanted to. It's his own fault, he says. Oh, shoot. But in reality, 51, Michael Barrow's the one that forced it.
4th down goal to go, just outside the 1-yard line.
Those who follow college football remember the big hit that Michael Barrow put on Richie Anderson, the running back for Penn State last year, to help them win that game.
Touchdown, New England. Leonard Russell from a yard out. A 76-yard drive by the Patriots.
Well, after all the play-action passes, they said, hey, let's just run it ahead and see what we can do. And Houston obviously thought that they're going to throw the ball again because there's nobody there as Russell tumbles in for the easy score.
And the touchdown comes with 5:18 left in the ballgame. Here's the extra point, and it is good.
Scott Secules' kicking is good.
Interesting how the game can shift. 15 carries for 42 yards. Only 1 yard here in this quarter, but it turns out that that 1 yard produces 6 points.
Number 2. Notre Dame, number 3, defeats BYU. They'll move up to number 2, and that means the game of the century. And we'll be there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Clearly, here comes the onside kick. Look at the ball.
And Houston.
Not much mystery here, is there?
Trust me, Houston believes. If we see a high wide shot, Houston believes there'll be an onside.
So look at how the ball is set up. I think that's pretty fair to say, isn't it? How about if he wheeled around and kicked it to the right side? Would not be.
Has to go 10 yards. Touch. It's New England has it.
Sure do.
Recovers for the Patriots.
The idea for the kicker, Charlie, is that on that third bounce, it bounces up and does something crazy, and that's what happens. Watch. 1, 2. Now watching the third bounce, he tries to get it. That's when the ball goes crazy and bounces high. And that's when Darrell Wren is able to pick it up completely unencumbered by any Oilers. Excellent execution by the New England special teams there.
At the 45-yard line of Houston, 5:14 time remaining. New England down by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points.
Well, it's clear to me that the defense of the Houston Oilers has gone flat after Jackson's interception for a touchdown.
Pass is complete to Ben Coates. 23-yard line. First down, 20 yards, 22 yards on the reception.
Jim Eddy, former defensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers, talked to us once about body English. Clearly, you can see the New England Patriots are upbeat and they're all over the field. On the contrary, the Houston Oilers are flat-footed, enabling them to get the long completion to Coates.
First down, 23-yard line. 4:40 and counting. Time remaining. Down the middle, nobody's there. Timpson was the closest possible receiver. Secules really got decked. Clock stopped, 4:37 left.
Watch the blitz come from the outside, but watch Lee Williams combine with Eddie Robinson to smack Secules to the ground. Actually, that wasn't a bad throw there just to get rid of it.
It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 23. Secules, as you saw, is thrown for 236 yards.
There's a man that saw the game in his pocket just a couple of minutes ago. Now you can see the worry on his face.
They're trying to pick his pocket. Incomplete. I thought we'd see a flag.
Inevitably in the middle of the field, Charlie, I'm telling you, between the hash marks, unless it's blatant, they're not going to call it. It's not close enough, and you don't have the officials downfield who are normally watching the wide receivers. You're absolutely right.
That's semi-blatant.
No, it was. Michael Barrow is all over Timpson. Take a look at this. Does he arrive before the ball? Clearly, look right there. He's already pulled his shoulder pad back before the ball gets there. But I'm telling you, between the hash marks and about 5 yards downfield, trust.
3rd down and 10. 23-yard line. Little timing pattern into the corner, and it is picked up. They're going to blow the play dead as as the Oilers have another interception. Marcus Robertson with this one.
Marcus Robertson. He is down at his own 1-yard line.
The veteran quarterback will look the free safety off. He will look the free safety off, look him to the left, and then what happens is that he'll come back and make the free safety go a different direction.
This message is a
Go a different direction. Watch right here. He never moves. He's focused right here. This is where he's looking. And so when he has the man-for-man coverage and cuts upfield, Robertson is waiting. Secules needs to look left. Instead, he looks right at the right receiver. And that enables Robertson to just come over, sitting duck, fair catch, interception.
Third interception for the Oilers. Remember, Steve Jackson, his went for the touchdown. Secules on the phone with the coaches upstairs. And Houston, at their own 2-yard line, have a first down with 4:29 left to go in the ballgame. Moon to throw, and it is incomplete. Are they going to say complete?
I'll tell you what, he has made some amazing catches today just off the ground. He does have some, he has a great pair of hands. Terribly thrown ball. Look at that. Throws off his right foot. Ball's way too low. Look at that.
That's incomplete, though. That's incomplete.
Yeah, but
it is.
Still the hands.
No, the hands. That's
I don't
fine.
care.
You know,
it's a great catch.
But let's point something out. The officials have not had one of the all-time great games. They really haven't.
Oh, you're right. If the guy can catch it with his pinky fingers like that, I'm amazed.
That's fine, but
I'm not worthy.
He should do it before the
great catch.
Catch it in the air. Make it legal.
He had possession of the ball.
Here's Lorenzo White, Barnett, and Thompson. And don't forget that coming up next, don't miss the conclusion of the Skills Challenge presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. 8 of golf's top players going head-to-head, driving, short game, iron shots, bunker shots, trouble shots, putting. The Skills Challenge presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and that is next here on NBC. John Daly, Hale Irwin, Peter Jacobson, Davis Love III, Lee Jansen, Phil Mickelson, Nick Price, and Lanny Watkins will all be competing. Jim Lampley will be the host. Is Jim Lampley the host on that or Dan Nick?
I don't know.
I don't either. One or the other. And Lorenzo White, and he is up in it at the 10-yard line. That was third down and short. It'll be fourth down. And now we're having a pushing and shoving contest.
The problem here for the Patriots is because Secules used 2 of their timeouts earlier. They can't afford the luxury here necessarily of stopping the clock. They have 1 left, I believe.
Still some time left. 2:51 as Greg Montgomery will be kicking. His punts today, 53, 45, 41, 57, and 56. That's the average, 50.4. 5 punts.
So New England did take their last time. How about that? 50-yard average.
That is an awesome punting average. We'll step aside. We'll be back in a moment. We'll be hosting the first one, so stay with us. We have the Skills Challenge and on into prime time here on NBC. And here's Montgomery in the kick, probably his worst of the day. And he'll take a bounce at a roll and going to come out. He'll end up being his best of the day, all the way to the 34-yard line.
And the New England 34.
And the distance, 56 yards. Let's go to New York and Jim Lampley.
All right, Charlie, about 7.5 minutes to go in Riverfront, where the Bengals had been surprisingly lively with Jay Schrader in the game. Here, Schrader gets away from the rush and hits Carl Pickens from 24 yards out with the never-say-die touchdown that brings the Bengals to within 28-17 of Cleveland in the 4th. Back to Charlie and Todd.
You know, Greg Montgomery just reminded me now that was his 6th punt for over 50 yards. The last guy to average 50 yards in a season. Take a look at that. 51-1 was Sammy Baugh back in 33, and I wanted to ask you a question regarding when you were covering the Redskins.
But I was covering Sammy Baugh, yes. And he had days just like this. Here's Secules as he goes deep into coverage. A collision of Oilers prevents the interception. Desperate, he said, what are you guys
Come
doing?
on, that was my turn.
Everybody.
He said, you've already had yours. Bubba McDowell has an interception.
You know what happened?
Marcus Roberts says, it's
Everybody
my turn.
says, mine.
That's right.
Nobody gave away.
It's like paying $500 when you're a kid.
Mine, it's
Look
mine,
at that. No,
it's
mine,
mine,
no,
mine.
mine. No, wait, no, wait.
All right, so bring it back to the 34-yard line. It is second down and 10. 2:36.
Did you play 500
left to go in the
when you
ball
were a
game.
kid? Catch the fly balls for 500.
Sure.
You get up to hit. That's what that looked like.
Here is pressure. Pass is juggled and then caught. And that is Michael Timpson with the reception. Steve Jackson was there.
Driven out by number 24, Steve Jackson.
The line of scrimmage becomes the 40-yard line.
Down 3.
It'll be 3rd down and 3. 2:31, that is the time remaining here. And the Oilers on top, 28-14.
21, Philadelphia 10.
Giants out in front of Philadelphia in their ball game. And here is the first down pass to Bencoat.
Secules pass complete to 87.
Dishman tried to steal the ball away. Play was dead.
Almost did.
Chris Dishman on the tackle.
What's he upset about?
First down, New England.
He's upset that the play should not have been blown dead and that he would have wrestled the ball
Let's see
loose.
if he gets the ball anyway.
He was down.
Boy, he did. He did take it away.
He did.
Good hands.
And here is another first down pass for New England. And here is Timpson again. We'll take the countdown to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. 2 minutes left to go here at Foxborough Stadium. And it looks as if the Houston Oilers, their record will go to 5-1. And New England's record will go to 1-5. 28-14. Oilers on top. Secules has completed 21 of 36 passes for 268 yards and a touchdown. But he has been intercepted 3 times, including once for an Oiler touchdown. And it's first down at the 35. And here is pressure. And this time he takes the sack. Remember, that'll be the 4th sack for the Oilers. Remember, though, earlier in this period when he did not take the sack and he threw it up for grabs, interception for the Oilers and cost the possibility of a score.
2nd sack for Sean Jones, 6th in the season.
Dropped off underneath the coverage to Kevin Turner, the fullback, who has replaced Sam Gash today. Gash out with a knee problem. And Michael Barrow with the tackle. And the Patriots in their hurry-up mode, now at the 38-yard line, and it's 3rd down and 13.
3rd down, 13.
As pressure, pass is complete. And it is Marv Cook, the tight end, and he's brought down by Marcus Robertson. It'll be 4th down and about 9, maybe 8. And of course, the Patriots will go for it. 1 minute left to go in the ball game. As time rolls, he is shot.
Oh, man.
Couldn't decide to throw or to run, and Steve Jackson made up his mind for him. He really nailed him. Pass is incomplete. Houston takes over and downs, and Secules will come limping off of the field of battle. Oh,
this is about a 15-yard head start he's got on this run. Steve Jackson's back in the secondary. Watch him. It blurred from the left of your screen. Whoa. Good thing Steve Jackson's only 5'9" and about 175. Otherwise, that would have been a serious, serious collision.
Fans, this reminder, please don't drink and drive. Visit the I'm Driving Cab Alert booth in the concourse area near
So Houston needs only to run 52 seconds off of the clock.
The New England Patriots, Quality Beverage Incorporated,
for their second victory. And a chance for us to thank our statistician, Bill George, assisted by Bob Paganini. That's as close as I'm going to get. Dave Lorenzi, and our spotters, Joe Pereski and Kevin Swindon. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And by the way, here is our Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton Super play of the game.
Well, Steve Jackson, who just had that big hit, this is the play that salted it away. 3 interceptions, but none more damaging than this one, as Jackson with the super funk at the end. He is our Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton's super play of the game.
We're taking the countdown. And And Houston, of course, will take the entire time, and that will wrap it up. The final score, the Houston Oilers 28, the New England Patriots 14. Now stay tuned for the conclusion of the Skills Challenge presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. With Todd Christensen, I'm Charlie Jones. So long from Foxborough Stadium.